Okay, this video is for Tom Noble and anybody else that's interested. He left a comment on my latest video saying that I just got the 8.8 with the 373, which is 41 and 11, so it's 41 on the ring gear, 11 on the pinion, and he stated that when he had his 9-inch built, he asked for 373s, and they said they only had 370s. That 373 was a Chevy gear ratio, which is not true, but he wanted to know if that was the truth. And if you go to a 9-inch, they have a 370, which is a 3710. Okay, so it's 3710 for 370, as opposed to a 41 and 11. Now there's a reason these numbers are always oddball looking. Okay, 355, 373, 389, 410. The ratios they show you here for a 9-inch, which is, there's a lot more of them, because a 9-inch is very, very popular. It goes down to a 740. There's some here that stand out that you see very rarely on a production car. 3.0, 350. I thought there was, okay, there wasn't a 375, a 4.0, 450, 5.0. You guys are all used to the same terms. You hear somebody say a 355, hear someone say 410s, 411s, here's a 411. 390s you'll hear, this one's a 389. There's a reason that these gear ratios look like this. 345, 350, 355, 370, 380, 382. They stay away from even numbers like 3.0, where is it? 350, 4.0, 450. Because when the pinion spins the ring gear, if you have a 3.0, that means the pinion spins around 3 times for once for the ring gear. You understand that? And that means the same teeth land on the ring gear every 3 times around. So when it starts off, it has a certain tooth with the pinion. It goes around 1 turn, has a certain tooth, goes around certain tooth, certain. It keeps doing it over and over and over again. It's called homing. Makes a home. When you do something that's a 307, it takes many, many, many revolutions for those same teeth to land back on. You would have to do the calculation. So that's why they have 291s, 294s, 307s, 315s. That's why you'll see a 345, a 355 instead of a 350. Because it won't land on those same teeth every single time. So it won't leave the same pattern on the same teeth. Because in time it starts to make noise. That's why you do see some of these gears, but very rarely do you see these in reality. Now, to answer your question, they don't list the 373. Richmond Gear doesn't. Richmond Gear's who I deal with. They don't list the 373 for the 9-inch. They list the 370, and the way they go about it is 1 less tooth than the 373, and what was it? 3 less teeth than the other one. I'd have to look back. Where were we? Yeah, 11 and 41. The bigger the pinion, the stronger the rear is. Okay, back to this. The reason when you have more teeth on the pinion, the rear is stronger, is because the more teeth, the pinion starts to get bigger and there's more gear contact from one to the other. When you start getting into this where it's down to 8, the pinion gets very small and you have less gear contact from one to the other. So the rear starts to get weaker and weaker and weaker. So that's one of the reasons why a Ford 9-inch is as strong as it is, because the placement of the pinion allows 3 teeth to make contact with the ring gear, where most rears it's only 2 teeth. They also tell you that it takes more horsepower to turn it, but some people will sacrifice the little bit of horsepower that you need for reliability. I mean, these rears are obviously strong, and they're used for everything. I mean, they're easy to deal with. The center section pops out. You could have multiple center sections. And as you can see, everything is available. You don't even have to get these from Ford anymore. They're all handmade. So, I mean, up to a 740. Just 5 teeth on the pinion. And also the 9-inch rear has the actual little pinion bearing sticking off the front of the pinion. That makes it strong too. It allows, it keeps the pinion from deflecting. Because once it starts to deflect sideways, it actually chews the gears. So to answer your question, according to Richmond Gear, they make a 370. Would you notice the difference between the 370 and the 373? Never. Now they go about it a different way. And like I said, they can get away with this more on the 9-inch with the smaller pinion because of the way it contacts as opposed to the 8.8 where there's less contact. So I hope that answers your question, Tom. They weren't pulling the wool over your eyes. That is the truth. Just like everybody says, they have 411s in their car, but a lot of times they're 410s. Like here's a 411 on this one, 8-inch. Here it's a 410. That's a 4110. See what it is here. Here it's a 37.9. So here they got a 3.0. I knew they had a 3.0 for an 8-inch. And this is right here. It's a 7.5. That's the weakest of weak. So, okie doke, guys. I had a Dana 80 with 410s in it. 6 miles per gallon in the motorhome. Eat cats. That's another video.